Hello, my name is Jacob Dacus. As my last name is Dacus, I have been assigned to report on Module 3. The specific topic from Module 3 that I would like to discuss is the expectancy value theory. The expectancy value theory is one of several models that social scientists have used to help people better understand attitudes. The theory suggests that attitude is made of two components: cognition, which are your beliefs, and effects, which is your evaluation of the contextual situation. A good example provided was with regards to smoking. If you believe smoking will make you popular and evaluate that being popular is very good, then your attitude towards smoking will be positive. To put it not so technically, this is how I think of expectancy value theory. If you believe situation X causes outcome Y, and you are of the opinion that outcome Y is good, then your attitude towards situation X will be favorable. Consequently, in the same context, if X causes Y, and Y is bad, then your attitude towards X will not be favorable. Next, I want to talk to you about the real-life applications of the expectancy value theory. I will start with a detailed story that demonstrates this theory. I will then transition into the inferences and implications of the theory. And lastly, I will talk to you about the applications of this theory in other situations. So to start the story, needless to say, we all have attitudes about everything. I have a very strong attitude towards going to restaurants when they are about to close. I will not sit down to a meal if there is not enough time for me to fully enjoy the food and the experience. I think it is a disservice to my appetite and to the staff of the restaurants, who are definitely not making any money on me at the end of the day. On the opposite end of the spectrum, my sister will go in as they are locking the door and demand service because, as she puts it, they are still open. Well, a few months ago, we were going out pretty late and we were both super hungry. She was craving some Mexican restaurant, and I wasn't being picky at the time because I was starving. It being about 11 o'clock at night, I could have eaten flavored dirt and been perfectly content. Anyways, we get over to the restaurant, and they close at 11. Immediately I said, no, we need to find somewhere open. We can't be going in at 11 o'clock if they close at 11. We're not going in there and ordering food from these people when they are about to close. Well, she got upset because she wanted some tacos. In my mind, my attitude about the situation was completely justified. In line with the expectancy value theory, I believe that walking into the restaurant would have resulted in terrible service, angry staff, and a subpar food. I evaluated that kind of experience to be supremely unwelcomed. Therefore, my attitude was strongly against going in the restaurant. Let me transition from that story into inferences I've made about this theory. First, this theory mimics rational choice theory. If one is to pick between a favorable versus uncomfortable choice, they will always choose what is more comfortable for them. With that being said, you can take this theory and assert mentalities and attitudes by people's response to situations. Now I will show you how this can be applied in the real world. If you take into consideration my aforementioned inference, you can successfully predict people's attitudes. Walk into a bar and listen to the way people unconsciously move to the music. Sensory reaction is the most subconscious attitude people have. If someone is dancing, you can assume they are enjoying the music. If someone is completely detached and just drinking alone, you can assume they aren't enjoying the music. People's body language portray their attitudes. So in conclusion, I will tie in our text, answer the so what question, go over the implications, and give a brief synopsis of what I talked about. Our text does an amazing job to explain the expectancy value theory. There are ample examples of the thought process, and the formula ties in flawlessly. There is not much to expand on other than beliefs plus evaluations equals attitudes. But so what? Why is this even relevant? So the relevance and the implications and the tie into real life come down to one simple and powerful thing. We can make educated guesses about attitudes based on reactions. This is incredibly important in advertising, political persuasion, and market research and analysis. Let's take into consideration the example the text provided to us about the cigarettes. The subject of the argument has a favorable attitude towards cigarettes. We know this because of the belief variable and perceived evaluation of the situation. Remember that the subject believes that smoking cigarettes equivalates to looking cool, and looking cool is a very cool thing. An advertisement may take a look at the data from a survey of, let's just say, 10,000 randomly selected individuals in a given area. Let's say that hypothetically the feedback they received from the survey asserts that 85% of the respondents who had a favorable attitude towards cigarettes had this attitude because they believe smoking to be cool. This advertising company will take that data and say a vast majority of the people smoke because it's cool. So rather than advertising that smoking relaxes you or has some other effects because of the nicotine, they will choose to advertise smoking as cool and vital to social life because it's cool and popular. If you take a look at that same example, an advertising company who wants to dissuade people from smoking, you can look at the same data and post advertisements that suggest smoking isn't cool. Rather than relying on the day-old phrase smoking kills platform and bombarding the media with scientific statistics about smoking, this alternative advertising company can focus on non-smoking activities that are cool. Using the expectancy value theory formula, this advertising agency can try to alter somebody's attitude by changing their beliefs and therefore changing their purchasing decisions. So to sum it all up, I discussed the expectancy value theory, an example of it in my personal life, the implications and the applications in the real world, and close with an example of the theory applied in a practical way based on my inferences and applications. With all that said, let me close with a quote. Bruce Lee said, "Knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect." Now I say, be mindful of those who try to persuade you. Have a strong character and be firm in your convictions.